In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, into the film review. We continue on in November with Brother Mike's pick. He chose 2025's an overdue movie, according to Dustin, The Ugly Stepsister. Me and Dustin did an instant reaction on this way back when. This is a movie that stuck with me after watching it, seeing it on the big screen. I won't say I like this movie, but like it resonated with me. Like I really like the substance, and I really enjoyed this movie. Like I think I like body horror now. I've come to know. Like I like the substance. This one together. I watched a classic from the 80s. You guys be proud, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. That's a really good movie. It's overdue, honestly. That one is overdue.
That is
we need
overdue.
to do that movie.
And it's like the only good Cronenberg movie, so I agree.
We need to do that movie someday. But back to this movie, I do like this one. I think it's really good. I give it a very good score. And I'm just really impressed with Leah Myron as Elvira. I think she does a great job. And the directorial feature-length debut of Emily Blickfield. I think I said her name right. I think this is a good movie. I think it's an impressive start for her. I'm going to be watching out for her. Brian, you want to go next? Your thoughts? I know you love this one.
And just to preface this, like I thought that you liked this a lot more than maybe you do. So correct me if I make some assumptions on what I say. But
I got a high score for it.
Okay. Look, first of all, I am fully aware that I am in the minority with this opinion. I assumed on this show. I don't know because it's Mike's pick and he's not here, so I'm not really sure if he likes it or not. But I'm pretty aware that I'm in the minority of at least reviewers on the old interwebs. But I simply just don't understand what people see in movies that, I guess, like you said, body horror. But I put it, I feel like are just gross for the sake of being gross. And there's just really no reason but shock value, in my opinion. Like when a lot of the gore porn era movies came out, like Human Centipede and Hostel, even Saw, incorrectly, people raised hell. And, I think unfairly a lot of independent movies may get a pass on that. So I don't know, just my opinion. But this one in particular, I think that if you take away the gore porn, you just have an unoriginal story of Cinderella. And I'm sorry, I just don't give you credit for that. I remember the days when Nico said in our review of Zombies Halloween something like is offensive nudity. And now we have another movie that I know of in his repertoire of movies with graphic scenes of dripping cum and multiple dicks, that at least one full-blown shot of a vagina. But hey, I'm not kink shaming, brother. I'm messing with you. But yeah, I don't understand the draw of this one except the shock value, personally. Like I said in the text, man, y'all like some weird-ass movies. As the Norwegians would say, oof de meg.
Hey, Brian, let me ask you something. Can you not give credit to the quality of filmmaking, though? Like, I think there's some really good cinematography in it. I think the score is good. I think the acting is good. Is that like...
I liked the score and I liked the acting.
Is it too overshadowed?
I didn't find anything in particularly standoutish with the cinematography.
Oh.
Now, like, it wasn't bad, so it didn't stand out either way to me. It didn't stand out as like, oh, this is great, or it didn't stand out as like, this is terrible. So it's just fine to me. Like, the only thing that, like I said, is it was the story of Cinderella. So I really, I wasn't entranced with that. And then the only thing that I thought was the shock value, and I didn't resonate with that. So when you take that away, to me, it's just nothing really and special.
It's fair. I thought there was some good cinematography. I've got it in my notes, and I'm pretty sure I called one scene in particular out.
Was it the barn scene? Was that the great cinematography? No,
it's when they're arriving at their new house, and just the wide shots and the slow zoom. I thought they were fantastic, and then the set design in this movie is really great too, and the costumes. I think all that's very good.
I agree. I agree with that. Costumes. That is right. You're right.
Yeah. So, all right, let me give my opening thoughts here, and we can get into it. So I saw this one, what feels like an eternity ago, earlier this year on April 22nd. It was the 46th movie that I had seen at the theater this year at the time. I'm now up to 144 movies in the theater. Anyway, I think it's pretty solid. I didn't love it, but I think it's an interesting take on Cinderella that does offer a lot of good things. I will say that the most shocking thing about this movie, and there are some shocking things in the movie, the most shocking thing, though, is that Mike picked this and not Nico. That's wild. But I definitely have some issues with it, and I agree with some of what you said, Brian. I think maybe my love for indie film has taken over my senses. I don't know, but I appreciate, I guess, the nuance. Like I think that for this movie I don't know what the budget was. I didn't look that up, but I'm assuming it wasn't a lot. Right. I think they did a good job, and I think for a first-time director, I thought there was some really good direction. I think it's a well-made movie. It's just not as good story-wise, and I do think it relies too heavily on the shock factor to mask those deficiencies. I agree there.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else before we get into it?
Fuck Rebecca.
Hey, you would?
No, she's one of the worst characters we've ever covered on this show.
I know, but you would?
She probably has the AIDS.
All right, Brian. I honestly can't wait to hear your scene by scene.
Oh, hope it lives up to expectations. All right, here it is. We open up in a dream sequence as we see Elvira, not Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, reading poetry written by the prince himself. When awakened, we are riding to Switlenda with Elvira, her younger sister Alma, and the mom, who is a super hoe, Rebecca, to meet an old man named Otto and his daughter Agnes, because the mom, Becky, is going to marry the old man for his money. She thinks. As we find out, both are marrying each other for the same reason. At first, Agnes and Elvira get along very well, but on their first night together and their wedding night at the dinner table, Otto has a heart attack and dies. Honestly, probably best you didn't get to consummate that, brother. She probably has the STDs. But it's then we get the opening credits, which are honestly fantastically done, I thought. When we come back, Agnes is deeply distraught over the loss of her dad and starts taking it out on her stepsisters, who are, admittedly, not showing any sympathy at all. It's during a talk in Agnes's room that Elvira learns that they're broke too and runs to tell her mom. Her mom faints and asks if E thinks it's easy to try to make a living with, quote, saggy tits and 2 daughters. Easy-E offers to get married to the prince, and her mom tells her to look in the mirror, to which she immediately does, and we get a nice shot of her popping and oozing zit. You know, I will give credit to cinematography. They have very high-def cameras. I'll say that. Back in the lovely room of Otto's death, that's Ace Ventura 2 reference, Nico, we see Agnes pray to a painting of her dead mom to not let this be her fate, and she sees a pigeon on the window. We then see a horseman come by and announce that all noble young virgins are invited to the ball, where Prince Julian will decide who he will marry. And my guy Julian needs to be a little bit more picky, because some of these girls ain't virgins, son. But Rebecca and Elvira see this as a way to improve household finances, and we head to the doctor, where we are going to get her braces off and possibly a nose job. And I take this back. It may actually not be a Cinderella reimagining, but a reimagining of what a medieval times version of Kardashians would have been like.
Hey, real quick, you forgot a word, Brian, when she talked about her saggy tits. She didn't just say in two daughters. She said two hopeless daughters. Cold-blooded.
Fair, fair.
All right, I mentioned this off the air, but we're starting off this film kicks off the first of 3 IFC Shutter film reviews this month, which I appreciate. You know, Dustin's the independent guy. I am too. And I've said it a lot. Like, I like IFC Shutter. I think they come out with a lot of original movies. Why don't y'all sponsor us this month? Hey, Dustin and I did an instant reaction to this movie earlier this year, and this is one of those films that stuck with me for a few days. You know, if someone were to tell me they didn't enjoy this, I totally get it due to the context, but I appreciate how in your face it is with the subtext. Love the set pieces already and the costumes. IFC Shutter never releases its budgets for its films, but considering this is Emily Blickfield's debut, like, I just doubt they got that much money for this movie. Rebecca, Elvira's mother, is easily one of the worst characters we've ever covered. I can't stand this woman. I will be saying this a lot throughout the review, so just get used to me saying that. Fun family moment with the cake until Papa Otto has a good old heart attack, assumingly, and spits blood all over Agnes. Real mood killer right there. It's like, not going to want to eat no more cake after that. And, well, neither family has any money. How did 2 people get married and neither realize that they were broke? Like, that's unreal. Like, how do you not know that? You're both in it for the money, and neither of you knew? We're losing recipes. Sad line from Rebecca. You think it's easy to find a rich man, a widow with saggy tits and 2 hopeless daughters? Like, Jesus. Extremely hurtful of her to call her daughter ugly. Have you looked in the mirror? I was like, all I wrote was, damn, like, that's mean. Like, you don't care about your daughter at all. Elvira popping the pimple up close for us to see is one of the first instances of this movie. You know, how up and close and personal it is with its nastiness and gore. And, you know, I get where y'all coming from. Like, they're using just this to, like, as the only selling point. But I don't know. It resonated with me. The look of hope on Elvira's face, hearing of the ball and the potential to marry the prince, I thought it was heartwarming, but that will quickly change, girl. But let a girl dream, right? I laughed at Elvira Vaughn's stepsister being on her scroll. Like, that was just funny to me. I'd shit myself if I saw that blood on the floor. World building opening, and the gore is kicking in now. I thought the opening was pretty good.
First of all, I think it's funny that when you hear the name Elvira, like you said, Brian, Mistress of the Dark is what you think of. I think of the Oak Ridge Boys. Elvira. Yeah. Anyway.
Dustin, the country music fan of the show, by the way.
You know, for a long time, you know, I thought that song was about the Mistress in the Dark. So what do I know?
Hey, my heart's on fire for Elvira. But first off, too many production company videos to start. Just put the names in the credits like a normal movie. We're seeing that way too often these days, and it annoys me every time. This one, I think, had 4. I don't remember exactly, but I was in a movie the other day in a theater, and it's all only independent movies that do it. And there was like 7. That's ridiculous. That was a full 4 minutes of just production company. Okay, I'm off on the soapbox. I like the fairy tale story and visualization we get in the open. The way it was shot and edited was so good to me. Like, the look when she's imagining these things, it had this like pink glow to it. Then we cut to her in reality and it doesn't. Like, I think that was a great way to visualize that. And Elvira being awakened with a slap to the face, that's a funny way to snap us out of it. I laughed. A lot of good cinematography in this one, like I mentioned. It's very reminiscent of old-timey movies, like the wide shots that slowly zoom in, like I mentioned. It's just great stuff to me. The old man croaks early on here, and fine, I'll say it. It's a woman's fault. Look, walk with me here. If Agnes had just let the man have his fun and not impeded and tried to get him to stop, he probably wouldn't have thrown the cake at Elvira, and he'd still be alive. But I also appreciate that he laughed so hard at his own joke that he died. Like, we love a good prank, and that's good. Crazy how Agnes's true colors showed immediately after he died. She went from being nice to Elvira and from being nice to Elvira to being a real cunt. Then again, what a weird situation to be in. Like, you just met your new stepmom and stepsisters. This is your new family. You just met them, and now you have to live with them. And like, that's weird. I'd probably act up too. Then Elvira went from her stepsister being mean to her mom calling her ugly and hopeless right to her face. That's a tough day at the office, can't lie. I could have gone without the close-up of her popping the zit. That is absolutely gross. Solid open, though.
We open up the set of scenes with E getting her braces off, and Kris Jenner decides Elvira wants nose number 7. And we get to see the doctor breaking her nose in 2 places to painful screams. We then cut to a dance studio where Elvie here has been made to take, I guess they call it a finishing lessons with Agnes. That's where young girls are taught social graces and upper-class cultural rites of the time, and where we learn that these girls are going to open Prince Julian's ball. And hey, listen, this is Top Gun here. We're only taking the best of the best. We start to see the pressure cause Elvira's initial admiration for Agnes to start to turn to resentment as she struggles at first. And speaking of resentment, we start to see Agnes turning that up for her new stepmother as she is spending all of their money on Elvira and her lessons and surgery and not burying the dead body that is gathering flies in the next room. And we get to see it. And whoo boy, Otto is looking rough. Back at the studio, first cuts at the dance joint are made, and we are shown that Elvira made it, although suspiciously, her name is written last as someone else's was scratched out. Our suspicions are confirmed as the teacher puts Elvira on the spot in front of the class and basically tells her that she has wasted talent and that she didn't want her, but her mom paid up. So, work much harder. Later that night, we see that Elvira is too fat to fit into a certain dress that they are trying on, and depression is starting to set in as she gets naked and starts looking at herself in the mirror, then pulls out a Starbucks cinnamon roll out of her nightstand, and we see a close-up shots of her ass and stomach as we hear her eating it. The next day at finishing school, the other teacher, which I think is fucking the first female teacher, takes a liking to Elvira and gives her a tapeworm egg to lose weight and increase her chances. Later on, our girl E and Alma head out on horseback with some picnic baskets, and Elvira shows her the tapeworm egg.
This scene with the braces removal, I thought was very rough to watch. Like, I don't like anything involving teeth or eyes. I sure hope we don't get anything that involves eyes later on. I'm right there with you, Elvira. I'd be cringing too, seeing this doctor with a chisel and hammer to my nose. Like, what did I sign up for here? Fantastic acting by Leah Myron portraying the pain. I think she gives an exceptional performance throughout, and I don't think she's recognized enough. Like, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and horror groups, and like they ask, the best female performances of the year, and no one ever mentions her hardly, and I don't like that. I know Elvira has to feel like shit getting embarrassed in front of the whole class like this, and her new stepsister moved to the front. Like, that's got to be, man, it's the worst feeling in the world. Disgusting moment when Agnes finds her father's corpse decomposing in that side room. Like, ugh. Elvira made the cut by the skin of her teeth. Wonder how Anna felt seeing her name crossed out and Elvira beat her out. And I know mom paid it off, but like that's got to be crushing for Anna. Teacher is cutthroat. I didn't want you. Your mother paid me. I was like, damn, like Elvira cannot catch her break. This scene with Elvira looking at herself nude in the mirror actually makes me sad because there's nothing wrong with her body, honestly. Feel terrible that so much pressure is put on women in their body image, like we mentioned in The Substance. Like, me and Dustin said this in our, like, instant reaction. Like, Elvira is not an ugly girl, like, at all. Like, I don't get it. Poor Elvira, her nose looks awful and so painful. And this tapeworm egg reveal, oh, nah. This ain't worth it at all. And the last thing I got, Dustin, more world building and setting it up nicely for the hell Elvira is about to go through later.
Yeah, orthodontics and plastic surgery were wild back then. Neither of those procedures looked pleasant. I'd have to pass and just be ugly. I will give Agnes some credit here. She has a good point. Her dad's rotting corpse is disgusting and very disrespectful. Seeing all that these girls go through this, all these girls going through this rigorous training ritual for a chance to be with the prince, that's rough. And it also made me realize something. If these girls were alive in today's world, they would all be OnlyFans chicks. Look what the money make them do. I wrote this before I remember later in the movie that we find out she's 18 at the ball, but I'll say it anyway. I know that the actress was born in 2001, but it's still odd that we get so much nudity from Elvira. Like, she's portraying a minor, I thought at the time, still a very young girl. It's not how I would have done it. I felt all the nudity was unnecessary because we get 2 shots of her boobs. It's just weird, but we're moving along.
Back at the picnic, Alma judges Elvira. God damn, I keep saying Elvira. judges Elvira for taking the tapeworm, saying she'd rather die. And after being called childish, she says fuck off and takes both horses, leaving Elvira out in the woods. Back at the stables to the house, Agnes rides up herself, and we see there's definitely more than a spark between her and the stable boy, Isaac. Is it Isaac or Isaac? Isaac? I don't know. Isaac is what I call him, so that's what he's getting called. As they make out some, and she tells him that she has to marry the prince to his disdain and hurt. Women, am I right, Dustin? Surely she will cut things off and not continue this with Isaac, right? Oh, okay. Back in the woods, Eazy-E pops the tapeworm egg and ventures off where she sees Prince Julian and his friends hunting. And we hear them talking about not preferring virgins and ask Julian if he prefers virgins or whores, as we see him taking a piss and answering both. After an obligatory ass shot, he notices Elvira and mocks her for being ugly. And they ask if she wants some princely cock, as he says he does not want to fuck that, referring to Elvira. It doesn't seem to faze her, though, as she goes right into another daydream. We cut to later that evening as Elvira is finally getting back to the house, and boy, are we all in for a show here. She hears some noises coming from the barn and enters to see Agnes bent over, and the camera zooms in high def on her bare vagina. We then hear horse grunts as we cut to Isaac's fully erect penis. Isaac mounts her, and we get a good 12 to 15 seconds before Elvira makes some noise and catches Agnes's attention as Isaac blows his load. And because the director deemed it necessary, we then get a zoomed-in shot of dripping cum all over because, of course, we do. We cut to the next day when Rebecca is yelling at Agnes for fucking a stable boy. She should have morals, like Rebecca. She throws Isaac out, who is sleeping naked, I guess, as he runs into the woods, ass out and everything. And R. Bex turns Agnes into a servant, calling her Cinderella. We get a title card, Tres Formar Siner, meaning 3 full moons later, and the ball is approaching. Elvira gets her nose thing brace off, and despite it looking pretty much the same, everyone thinks she is beautiful now. But back at the doctor, the Kardashians are at it again, and we are now getting some eyelashes sewn into Elvira's eyes, and we get to see every painful thread insertion. As the offer also stands for her to get breasts, quote, just like Nurse Anna's. What did you think about that scene, guys?
All right, before I get started on my notes, I just want to read a letterbox review of this movie, Frames of Nick. He said, in all capital letters, cock and film representation. I just thought that was funny. I just wanted to share that. Thought that was funny. There's another one I want to read later too, but I wish it was that simple that you could just ingest a tapeworm egg and eat as much as you want and not gain weight. Sign me up now if it was that easy. I got about 20 pounds I'd like to drop, but no, girl. And I call him Isaac too. I feel bad for old Isaac. Agnes loves him, but going to marry the prince because he ain't rich. Tough out here in these average Joe streets. I can't wait to hear Dustin's thoughts on that. I laughed at, hey, metal snout, you want some Prince cock? That was funny. That's funny. I laughed at that. Would be tough to hear. Poor Elvira, he don't want to fuck you. Going to have to back up and punt on this endeavor now. It's that's poor girl. She went through all this and Prince ain't feeling you. More in-your-face nudity with Isaac and Agnes, cooch, wiener, cum dripping goodness. They ain't playing around in Norway. If I'm Agnes, there's no way this bitch Rebecca is telling me how to live. You were married to my dad for 1 day. Screw you. What? You don't own me. What are you doing? Another scene coming up that was very tough to watch on the big screen. Like I mentioned earlier, I hate anything involving eyes and teeth. This eyelash installation scene was not fun and had my audience squirming. Also, not very reassuring to see the nurse, with a messed up eye too. How did that happen, doctor? This happened during this procedure? Last thing I got, more great acting by Leah Myron. She's exceptional translating pain to the big screen. I thought she does a great job.
Hey, Nico, quick question. More uncomfortable scene involving eyes of 2025, this or The Home? Yeah.
Either or. They're both rough.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go The Home by a nose hair just because that was
in the eyeball.
In the eyeball. So, but they're both gross.
They were both in your face, though. Yeah, they were rough, though.
All right. So, Alma had the exact reaction I would have had if Elvira showed me a tapeworm egg. She is sick in the head. Agnes getting it on with the stable boy. It was shocking what we saw, but the act itself wasn't shocking. Because why would a stable boy be in the house earlier when she was showing Elvira around the house? They don't keep houses in there or horses in there. So, something's up. He was in there tending her horse. All I could do when Elvira ate the tapeworm egg was just shake my head. What a dummy. I guess modern medicine, if Ozempic was around back then, it could have been a lifesaver for her, literally. But that's just, I wouldn't have went about it that way. Had to be pretty gut-wrenching when the prince said, I don't want that thing. It's time to pivot, sis. Like, I know you're in love or whatever, but have some self-respect. That was brutal. Like, I don't care if the surgery is going to make you prettier. This is what you really look like. This is the real you. And he called you a thing. He's not wrong, though. A pretty valuable piece of blackmail that Elvira has on Agnes now, but man, she is so clumsy. First, she fell when she was spying on the prince taking a leak, and now she's stumbling when she's watching Agnes. Like, get some balance from the doctor next. She must have been jumping to conclusions. That's all women like to do. She's falling all over the place.
Jesus Christ.
We get quite the transformation after she takes the metal nose brace off. It does look like a different girl. Like, I could tell. She wasn't ugly at all. Like, they did a good job of making her look different early on. But it's quite a transformation. I think her hair and makeup had a lot to do with it, too. Last thing here, the lashes scene. That's one of the most uncomfortable scenes I've seen this year. I mentioned the home as well. Those two are both up there. Just a 0 out of 10 viewing experience, but very effective.
No, that's what I was going to say too later, Dustin. I think I got it wrote down, but I agree. It's that weird, like, George Washington hair at the beginning. That was the biggest turnoff. What are you doing? Like, straighten it out. Like, but I did want to go ahead and just, since you brought up Ozempic, the other letterbox review I was going to read was from Haunted Hippie. Elvira, you were born in the wrong generation. You would have loved Ozempic with 3 heartbreak emojis.
Right. All right. We open up one stormy night as E is laying in bed with bloody rags over her eyes and is getting hungry as fuck. We see a cut of Alma getting her first period but not telling her mother as she fears she will be subjected to the same pain Elvira is experiencing. He makes her way to the kitchen where Agnes catches her sneaking cake and in a moment of pity helps her eat. The next day we learn that Rebecca has also pulled Agnes from finishing school, leaving no one in the starring role for the dance. One of the lesbian teachers suggests Elvira, and the other seems to agree. Later that night, Cinderella Agnes is feeding a bathing Elvira disgusting spaghetti as it falls everywhere into the bath, and we see her eat it, and then we also see her hair starting to fall out in clumps due to the tapeworm. Later that night, Rebecca enters E's room and wakes her up with a man claiming to be her, quote, good fairy, as some kid slaves bring in a chest with a dress in it. The pervy old man watches her get dressed and then starts to eye Agnes as she enters to help Elvira get dressed as well. He forcibly kisses her and she spits in his face. We see more hair fall out, and this dude goes and grabs a wig, speaking of George Washington. And that ends this set of scenes.
This bedroom is haunting, and the thunder and lightning, I thought, added to a nice, creepy ambiance. Elvira eating these pastries, like, this is real. Like, I love a good baked good. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I love me some pastries, some donuts, cake. Like I'm with you, sis. Agnes gives her quite the stare and brings her more cake. I thought they had a weird dynamic. It's interesting she keeps saying the line, I'd rather die than to my heart lie and be with the one I do not love. When she doesn't love the prince, and she never will. Like, she's just in it for the money. Like, what are we doing here? You can see the descent into madness by Elvira, and her losing her hair like that was very rough to see. Poor girl is killing herself for a fake beauty standard and a guy who doesn't even want her. Like, what are you doing? Shitty of mom to undress her right in front of these strange men. Like, she does not care about her daughter at all. And it's sad. Upon research, the name Cinderella is used as an insult reflecting her life of servitude. I didn't know that. Like, I really didn't know that. Like, I thought that was interesting. This is the last thing I got, Dustin. Another good set of scenes as we see poor Elvira put herself through more and more self-abuse, honestly.
You know, if women didn't eat that apple in the garden, they wouldn't have to go through these things in life that they brought on themselves. But I got to say...
Shout out all of our lady listeners. Appreciate that.
Yeah, shout out the Bible, man. It's just facts and history.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's later in there. Gotta say, Agnes is better than me. I would have mollywopped Elvira in the kitchen there, especially if I knew she couldn't see me. I definitely wouldn't have been nice and handed her the food. Like, come on. This girl has caused your life to be a living hell. So just get a few good shots in. Anyway, at this point in the movie, I do feel like it slows a bit too much for me. Like, we've spent quite a bit of time building already, and I'm just ready for the story to advance towards the climax. Like, I don't even feel like we're moving at this point. We're just showing us more stuff. It feels like we're in a holding pattern for a minute. Now, if there's one thing that this dressmaker has, it's gall. First ogling Elvira when she's naked and then kissing Agnes. Like, lock him in the stocks, man. Rebecca is a horrible mom, if for no other reason than that, but she gives us plenty more reason to say that. This isn't my favorite set of scenes here, but we are still moving forward.
Yeah, moving. The climax was actually 2 scenes ago, though. Actually, it wasn't at the end.
I didn't mean his.
Oh. Who directed this? Robert Eggers? We open up here as it's time to pay for the dress, and whore bag Rebecca is her getting her shit pushed in as Elvira sits on the stairs with a tray of cake. We cut to Agnes, who opens a chest of her own to find a pair of baby shoes and puts them in her pocket. She pulls out her mom's old ball gown, and Elvira walks in to see her with it. Well, it's jealous bitch o'clock, and E tears it up and goes to bed with the invitation over her heart as she's given some NyQuil from Rebecca. We cut to Agnes, who is laying on the torn-up gown on her rotting dad's corpse that is still in the same room from months ago, or 3 full moons ago. Maggots pour from his mouth as Agnes gets a vision from her mother. Ghost Mom turns the maggots into silkworms who sew her dress back together and turns her baby shoes into a bigger, fancier version, and to be home by midnight or her carriage turns back into a pumpkin. It's ball time. And I don't mean what happened in the barn with Agnes and Isaac earlier. No, it's Dance Party USA, and the destination is the castle. At the ball, Elvira slings her shit around, doing her thing on the dance floor, and actually gets the prince's attention, getting his first dance. And all is going great until that bad bitch Agnes shows up, and it is all over for her. Her stomach starts sounding like the Mike Settle special, and she pukes up tapeworm eggs. Rebecca finds her and basically tells her it's over for her chances with the prince. But she needs to get out there like a Reba song. Find her a man to get her up out of there. Here's your chance, Fancy. Don't let her down. Back at the hizzy, he is pissed and approaches Agnes with a meat cleaver, attacking her and forcing her to hand over the other shoe. Just before it appears she might actually kill Agnes, Rebecca walks outside drunk and tells him to go to bed because she's in the middle of a fuck session herself with one of the young guys Elvira was dancing with at the castle. Distraught and apparently trying to force a size, look like a 35 foot into a size 4 shoe, we get to see Elvira cut her fucking toes off. Go ahead, Nico.
I laughed out loud at Brian's scene-by-scene breakdown, just giving everyone an insight on this. Like, whenever whoever decides to do scene-by-scene, we do a start and stop point. And Brian said, and I quote, Rebecca getting her shit pounded in. Very true statement, but I did laugh. Such a weird dynamic. Elvira tears up Agnes's dress, and what nerve did these two to have her to tell her that she can't go to the ball? Like, she was related to them for like a day, like for 12 hours or something. Like, how you gonna tell me what to do? Otto's corpse still in the side room and full of maggots. Disgusting, but might not even be top 5 most disgusting thing in this movie. Shout out to Ghost Mama and these little critters sewing the dress back up. We love when a plan comes together. Elvira was never an ugly girl. Hate seeing how much Rebecca has brainwashed her. It didn't bother me too much, but if you said this dance scene ran a bit long, like, I wouldn't argue with you. It does run a bit long. And my, oh my, how the tables have turned. Prince does have an interest in Elvira all of a sudden. I just called her Elvira, whatever. And Agnes enters the room and steals the whole show. Big, beautiful dress, blonde hair. She looks classy. Elvira is stewing and devastated. You can see it all over her face. Not sure how she's not completely malnourished either. She's only been eating pastries, and the tapeworm is eating a lot of that too. Like, that's part of why, like, her hair is falling out. She looks a mess. Disgusting seeing her vomit and these eggs coming up. Ugh. Heartbreaking, crying out to her mama. She's dying, and her only response is stop crying. There's other great men out there, and pull yourself together. Like, I hate Rebecca. She's the worst person. Very hectic scene with Elvira dancing, spinning in circles. I know she's feeling like shit doing this. Elvira finally crashes out, and I feel for her, but I always laugh at crash out moments. They're the best. Very tense exchange between Elvira and Agnes. I'd be freaking out if I was getting chased with a butcher's knife out of nowhere. Rebecca continues to be the worst. She done brought home Frederick von Bluckfish for her own personal gains. Hate to see it. What a terrible name, Bluckfish. Considering I saw the poster and knowing how crazy Elvira had gone, once she looked at her foot and had that meat cleaver, I knew what was coming, but it was still very intense on the big screen. I'm sure Dustin can comment on that as well. But like Dustin mentioned in our instant, even if the prince did pick her, he's going to notice you got no toes. Your hair color is different, all that jazz. Like, what are you thinking with this stuff? Last thing I thought it was an intense set of scenes, and I'm ready for the ending.
Yeah, I think this is the most that I have. But the worms on the dress, that was just another disgusting part. I don't know why, but it gave me the willies. Yuck. But it does tie into a real fairy tale scene with them fixing her dress as she hallucinates her mom. You know, if we're going to lean into the fairy tale aspect, I thought that was well done. We finally get to the ball, and it does not disappoint. Pretty entertaining scene. All these girls peacocking for the prince and Cinderella still in the show. I thought that was really good stuff. Good camera work and directing for her weird little dance number. And I really like the score. Not just here, but throughout the movie. But here specifically, like it feels like a modern take on music from that era. And it works so well. Her stomach rumbling as loud as it was hilarious. Like I laughed every time it rumbled. I also love how Agnes showed up hella late. And instead of getting turned away for lack of punctuality, she was the belle of the ball. Attractive women just have it so easy. Elvira puking up the eggs. That's another disgusting moment. Movie is full of shocking imagery, and we haven't even seen the worst of it yet. Very dizzying scene when she goes back to dancing. Like the camera cuts and spinning. It almost made me want to yak. I'm surprised she didn't. I expected her to puke all over her dance partner there. Pretty deranged look on Elvira's face when she saw it was Agnes. I did think that the pumpkin being in the driveway and Agnes being with the mouse or the rat inside, that was a little too on the nose for the Cinderella stuff. I could have done without that completely. We get it. The story is what the story is. You don't have to, it was just too much. Then just completely unhinged behavior for Elvira to chase Agnes with a meat cleaver, but even more unhinged to cut off her own toes. Like you said, Nico, what does she think would happen? The prince would obviously remember Elvira. That was his first choice for the dance. So he knows her, and he knows it wasn't her shoe because he knows who he was dancing with. But let's say he didn't realize that, and he ended up like, oh, it fits? Okay, let's get married. What did she think his reaction would be when he saw her barefoot? Oh, you ain't got no toes. You got diabetes? Or then when she takes off the wig, you ain't got no hair. What? I mean, that is just like a woman, impulsive action without any real thought being put into it. I'm ready for the ending.
Jesus. All right, here's the ending. Rebecca and Alma come running in. Alma is horrified when Rebecca goes along with this Hail Mary of plan of Elvira's and sedates her and helps complete the task of removing her toes. And you guys said it, but I had it here. We're going to have bloody toes. No way to explain how she was dancing with the prince. And then the lady that walked in was her too. As the dude from Office Space would say, this idea of yours is horrible. The next morning, Elvira hears the trumpets announcing the prince's arrival. She crawls on the floor, unable to walk, then falls down a flight of stairs, which is kind of funny, breaking her nose and chipping her tooth, only to find that the prince and Agnes have already found each other, making Elvira's efforts officially fucked. Yo, Prince, she's not a virgin. I don't know if anyone told you that, but just throwing that out there. But then again, I think in the woods he liked him a little worn in, he said, quote. Defeated, Eve finally listens to Alma, takes the antidote, and vomits up a large tapeworm to which we get to see as they pull it out in disgusting fashion, to say the least. Honestly, I'm surprised, given this movie, we didn't just show them pulling it out of her ass. But anyway, the sisters steal their mother's jewelry, leaving so they can live free of her influence. Alma walks her like a buck-toothed wheelbarrow. Put that on a t-shirt. And they head to the border. In a post-credit scene, it is revealed that Otto's rotting corpse remains in the house. And there
I'm glad you wrote that down because I did see there was a post-credit scene. Like, poor Otto. It's like, Dustin, what do you think about that? Otto, the only man of the house, just left in there to rot. Like, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, if it was a woman, she would come back from the grave and kill him. But, as a man, that's basically a representation of how we're treated as men anyway. We're just left to rot and die. No care for us.
What? Only what? Women and dogs are loved unconditionally. Isn't that how it goes? Or something?
Yeah.
Women, children, and dogs. If we don't provide anything, we don't not loved anymore.
Yeah,
Living
cold
proof
world.
right there. It is a cold world. All right, Alma is a lot more composed than I could ever be, and I'm with you, Frederick. I'd pass out if I saw this too. Like, this girl just cut their toes off. What is going on here? Rebecca isn't even sad for her daughter. She sedates her and finishes her other foot off. Like, I did think that was a haunting line. Like, Elvira, this is the wrong foot. Like, oh, like, how do you mess that up? Like, how do you get this wrong? Like, line it up, get it right. And I wrote it again. This is easily one of the worst characters we've ever covered. I will give Anne Dahl Torp, I think is how you pronounce her name properly, credit. She portrays this evil woman, Rebecca, fantastically. I think she does a great job. This is definitely a dream because you ain't got any more toes, Elvira. Hate to break it to you. Elvira, upon waking up, looks downright awful. Her hair's falling out. She can't walk. She breaks her teeth falling out of bed. Insult to injury, she rolls down the stairs and does even more damage. What a day. Sorry, but I laughed at Agnes's face looking at her in her current state and then just walking out. Like, I thought that was funny. This tapeworm scene, let me tell you something, Shane Walsh voice. Easily one of the freakiest, most bizarre things I've ever seen on the big screen. Jaw was on the floor, and I wasn't even mad when my fellow theater goers gasped seeing it. Like, I was right there with them. It was rough. Certain tapeworms can grow up to 25 to 30 feet long, and some have grown up to 40 feet. Horrifying to think about something that large coming out of your guts. Ugh. Poor Alma. What could possibly go through her mind right now? So happy Alma and Elvira are able to escape from Rebecca and steal some of her shit before leaving. It makes it even better. Rebecca is such a gold-digging piece of garbage. She doesn't even care her daughter saw all this and took her jewelry. Hate her so much. Then she just sucks the guy's dick in front of her face. What is going on? And the last thing I got, Brian mentioned it, there is a post-credit scene that shows poor Otto's corpse still in the house. Like, I know that room smelled crazy. Sad that no one truly cared enough about him to properly, like, remember him, bury him. Even his own daughter. Like, nobody cared about poor Otto.
Disgusting close-up of her toes hanging on by a thread. Like, come on. I'm not a foot guy at all. So just her feet alone make me squeamish. And then her toes are falling off. Ugh. Rebecca finishing the job and cutting off her toes. That's insane parenting. Lock her in the stocks right next to the dressmaker. I do love the confidence and determination from Elvira when the prince arrives. This balding dumbass crawled out of bed and busted her mouth and then fell down the stairs and tried to take the bloody nubs that she calls feet out there. Like, that's what the prince wants. Like, come on. Even if she didn't cut her feet off. The balding, bloody mouth, battered. Even if that is what I was seeking, if she was the right girl, I would turn her away. The real MVP of the movie is Alma. What a good sister, man. Like, that just warmed my heart, her taking care of Elvira there. Then we get the grossest scene in the movie, the tapeworm exodus. Having seen it twice now, I think I feel good about committing to never watching this movie again. That's not to say it's a bad movie. It's gross, man. I don't care to watch it ever again. Disturbing ending, but I'm glad Elvira and Alma escaped the bad parenting of Rebecca. Also, did not know that there was a post-credit scene until this watch. It added absolutely nothing. But the look of the decomposing skeleton was solid.
Yeah, I thought the effects were good, especially considering it probably did have a low budget. Let's jump into our social media comments and questions. I'll knock out Instagram. Jesse Kraft commented, "Oh, man, this was a rough one. I liked it, but I don't think I could watch it again." I had to ask her, what do you think was the roughest scene to watch? He said, probably the foot. But the tapeworm thing really made me want to throw up, too. Yeah, the tapeworm is disgusting. Ass_clap commented, "Love this movie. I regret watching it while trying to eat some lunch, though," with a laughing emoji. And niece_384 comment, "Never heard of this film, so my question is, what is it about?" I just told her it's a graphic story based on Cinderella, and it's on Shudder if anyone wants to go check it out.
We just have one on Blue Sky or X, Stars formerly known as Twitter combined, and it was on X. It's from that guy, Millhouse14108. He said, "Watch this based off your instant reaction review, and boy, did it pay off. Great set decoration and visual effects. Watching Elvira send her little piggies all the way home, take a chisel to the honker, and spew up the medieval version of Ozempic definitely made me cringe. 7.25 out of 10. Love the show." Appreciate that comment.
Nothing on the Book of Faces.
There's really only 2 fun facts on IMDb. I already shared one about the director's debut. The other one was like there's no version like English dubbed or something like that. It's nothing crazy.
Fun. Fun
I want to
fact,
see if Dustin can connect this joint to David Arquette. Go ahead.
I got you. But fun fact about that fun fact, anytime I'm looking for fun facts on IMDb and I see one that's like, yeah, we know or don't care, I give it the thumbs down. I gave that one a thumbs down. Watch the movie and you know that there's not a dubbed version available. Like, that's not a trivia piece. Come on. Anyway, drum roll, please. Thea Sophia Loch Ness, who plays Agnes, and Isaac Comroth, who plays the prince. They were both in a show called Evil with Gustav Skarsgård, who was in Air, movie about Michael Jordan signing the deal to Nike. Ben Affleck, good movie, with Ben Affleck, who was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer with David Arquette. Boom. And also, Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
You know, I actually watched that Tom Brady roast today, and somebody was roasting Ben Affleck for being in like Phantoms and some other movies. It was so funny. That was a good roast if anyone hasn't watched it. No budget. IFC Shudder really doesn't release them. I looked there. I didn't see one on there. If just give me a minute, I'll pull it back up. They did have what the movie made. There was no budget, but there was a section where like what it grossed and all that. I'll read that. Professional podcast over here. Opening weekend, it made $174,000, and the gross worldwide $5,549,772. So not too bad for a very, very limited release movie, because Dustin, like, whenever he saw it, what was it, like 9:30 at night, one showing a day?
Yeah.
When you saw it finally?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And also, I just found this. I don't think this is accurate. I just found that the budget for this movie is $4.5 million. I just don't believe that's true. What'd you say the box office was?
5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is saying Wikipedia is the source. It says the budget was $4.2 million. I don't buy that. But if it is, then that would significantly drive my score down. Like, if you got almost $4.5 million to make this movie, I would expect a little bit more. The effects look good. That's not my gripe. I would just expect better quality across the board, I think.
Yeah, I just don't believe it made that much money personally. It's not easy to get money for independent movies these days.
I think both those are wrong.
All right, guys, over to our favorite kill, least favorite kill, which we don't have any that I can think of in our rating. Dustin, you want to kick us off?
Well, Otto died.
Well, Otto did die.
And a little bit of me died when I saw how gross it was. But
Yep, I was going to say that. Yep.
Yeah, I'll get us kicked off here. My final thoughts and rating. I think it does offer a lot of good, but it falls into a lull in the middle. And I feel like it just relied too heavily on the shock factor. Overall, it is a solid movie, though, especially for a directorial debut. It currently sits at 20th of the 51 new horror movies I've watched in 2025. I gave this one a 6.25.
All right, I'll go next. Otto, I guess you can. I'm not going to pick a favorite kill and least favorite kill. There's not enough of that. This, like I said, this movie stuck with me, and like I saw your Letterboxd ratings of the movies this year. I need to do mine as well. I think us peasants who don't pay for Letterboxd can still do one of them things, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I'll make one. But I have this movie pretty high on my list. It's probably top 5, top 6, easy. Like, this movie just stuck with me. I really appreciated it. And there's something me and Dustin discovered. Like, I hate old movies, but I love new movies that are set in old times. Yeah. Like, I love that stuff.
I was going to say that before we closed here. Like, you loved this one, and you loved Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is a fantastic movie, but I did not expect you to like it, and you love it.
Fantastic film. That's a great movie. It's a slow burner, but that's a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like The Witch, The Lighthouse. Like, I love those kind of movies. Like, if it's,
you just hate the filmmaking that they used to do. Maybe I don't.
But anyway, yeah, this movie, I really appreciate the message it was telling. I understand what you're talking about, like so much nudity and all that, but kind of like in the substance, like it had a woman director. This one has a female director as well. Like, they're telling a message, like they're from their own point of view, so I can appreciate it. It's not Rob Zombie making Christina Cleave stand up butt naked for no reason at all. So I just appreciated Emily's message she was saying. I gave the movie a 9. I like it. Now, I'm not going to watch it again anytime soon. Like, that's my knock. This is not one you want to turn on anytime recently. But
it's okay because it's a female director that Agnes was bent over and her pussy was showing, like, blankly, like, open. Like, it's all right because it's a woman director.
You heard what the guy said. Cock and film representation.
Cock and twat representation.
All right, what the drip and cum? I know you're okay with
I know.
that.
I mean, I know it's kind of a double standard, but like it is looked differently upon if like it's a female director versus a guy director. It just looks more exploitative if like we say do that.
Well, yeah, look at who
They don't have to take the
Terrifier.
job, right?
Terrifier's in trouble for that right
yeah.
now. This is a bad franchise all around.
What do you, hey, Gus, what do you think about Screamboat?
Let me tell you something. This movie looks like Casablanca compared to Screamboat. So
Nico will not agree with that. He hates Casablanca, probably.
Do you think I've seen Casablanca?
this movie looks like the Maltese Falcon compared to Screamboat.
Oh, we've seen that for sure. All right. Let me go. I do agree. The soundtrack's great. You know, almost this digital 80s keyboard a lot. I did like that. I don't know. I loved it. The acting was great. Bravo to this cast for being brave enough to put their naked bodies, vaginas, and hard dicks on screen for the world to see forever. I hope everyone was paid well, but given that we can't even find the budget, maybe they were able to, I don't know, keep some props from the movies or something. Maybe that tapeworm, I don't know. Again, I'm not particularly a fan. I'm going to give this movie a 3.5, as again, I see no point to this retelling of the story of Cinderella, if not for the shock factor gore porn scenes. Sorry.
Wow. All right, that gives us a composite score of a 6.5.
What did Mike give it?
He gave it a 7.25.
Okay.
IMDb has it at a 7. IMDb has it at a 7. Letterboxd 3.7. So we're pretty much in line with those. Rotten Tomatoes, 96%. 96% of critics said, "Hey, this movie's all right." Brian was in the other 4%.
Yep. Hollywood is fucked up, so I agree. I see
This
that.
movie's from Norway, so suck on that.
But the critics weren't. That's
No,
what I was talking about critics.
Some are from Chicago.
All right, guys. Let's shout out our blood donors and announce my pick for next week. We really appreciate all of our blood donors. Take a huge burden off us. I can't stress that enough. We really appreciate y'all. Camper level reoccurring. And if you want to become a blood donor, just go to our website, don'tgoouthere.com, and sign up if you want to. No pressure, though. Camper level reoccurring, Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, and Anthony Andrews. Camp counselor reoccurring, Edward Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from the Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, and Amanda Pettiford. Really appreciate y'all. Like I mentioned earlier, 3 consecutive IFC Shutter picks. I chose 2023's Red Rooms. This is a movie I saw recently within the past couple months. And talk about a movie that resonated with me, a movie that messed with me. I'm excited to redo it and review it, honestly. Like, I think it's a really haunting movie. Guys, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Good night, Canada.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.